Okay, so today I'm going to rank every single episode of The Punisher, and yeah. So before I start the ranking, I would like to preface this video with I think every single episode of Punisher is good. I don't think there's a single bad episode. Almost every episode is great. I think there's like two that just missed that, and yeah. Let's start the video. So, at number 26, the worst episode of the show, but still being good, is Scar Tissue. This is probably the episode that I remember the least from. It's kind of boring. You learn more about Amy, who I do like. I look at reviews, and I don't think people like Amy, but I like Amy. I think Season 2 is overall great, but is definitely the lesser season of the two, and this is the worst episode of the show. I give it like a 7.9 out of 10. Then at number 25 is Nekazat. I think that's how I pronounce it. I don't know. It's better. Madani and the Russian dude have a conversation, and they talk, or they have an interaction. Overall, I do think the Russian dude and like that whole storyline is just way worse than the Billy Russo stuff. That stuff is actually fantastic, and then this is just pretty darn good. It's good, but it's just not as good as what else is happening right now. Overall, it's an 8 out of 10 episode, and yeah. At number 24 is the worst episode from season 1, The Judas Goat. This is my most forgotten episode from season 1. I just don't really remember it that much. Maybe that's just a me problem. Also, I did watch it episode to episode to episode. I think this was one where I watched 2 episodes in one day. So maybe that's just me forgetting it because I binge watched it. But yeah, I think it's still a great episode. I'll give it like an 8.2 out of 10. And yeah, that would be the same rating I give to number 23, One-Eyed Jacks. Yeah, that's what it's called. Okay. It's another great episode. It has Billy Russo stuff that's really good. Like the therapist, Krista, I think her name is. She's a good character. Billy Russo's a great villain. And yeah, this episode is pretty great, and I'll give it, like I said, an 8.2. Number 22 is Fight or Flight. Frank just kidnaps this girl, and I do think the fight scene at the end is pretty good, and that are actually pretty great, and that brings this episode up, and the girl is fine, her Rachel, as she's called at this point, I think, I don't know, that I did kind of need like 5 episodes to learn her name, because it's like, oh, is it Rachel, Amy, I think it goes by Sarah at one point, it's confusing. Overall, this is a good episode. Actually, a great episode, as I give it a 8.4 out of 10. Number 21 is Two Dead Man. This actually may be my most forgotten episode. I mean, it's cool. I think Curtis appears in it. It's the second episode of the show. I just do think it's a downgrade from 3 a.m. or the first episode, the pilot of the show. And overall, I do think it's great. I do like it. I know there's a flashback between these kids at the start, and that's pretty good. And overall, it's just a great episode. So 8.5 out of 10. At number 20 is Resupply. I like Micro. I think it's Micro. I think he is a great character. I do think he's better than Amy to be like the secondary character other than, I guess, Madani. So secondary character. But yeah, he's pretty good. And them stealing the supply is, based on the name, is pretty good. Russo in this episode. He's pretty good. Overall, everything in this episode is just pretty good, and it's a great episode. 8.5 out of 10. At number 19 is Fluster Clock. Anyways, it's a great episode. I have some nice Billy Russo stuff, although it does focus, I believe, mostly on the John and Russian guy, which I will say is just the least interesting. I mean, it got interesting at, like, in my opinion, the end of the season, where he dies. Or doesn't die, gets defeated. Which also I don't get why he still got to live. He didn't get, I don't know. Maybe I'm just heartless. Anyways, it's a great episode. 8.6 out of 10. At number 18 is My Brother's Keeper. I believe this is the episode, right after One Bad Day, which is the episode where Billy found out about Frank and how he was the one to scar his face. And honestly, that is great. That's the great part of the episode that I absolutely love. I love Billy coming to terms with the fact that Frank did it, and because he doesn't remember that he killed his family, and he thought that he loved his family, and he just found out that he killed his family. I know I'm not explaining well, but it's a really good episode. It's great. So, 8.6 out of 10. And number 17 is Kandahar. I think this actually may be the only episode with flashbacks to Kandahar, their time in Kandahar, other than, the whole plot in season 1 with the torturing and stuff that Madani's going after. It's a great episode. I believe this is also the episode where Frank is torturing David, and that's great. David's a good character. Actually, I just said torturing's great. No, it's not. This is a really great episode, in my opinion. 8.8 out of 10. I like the Kandahar flashbacks and stuff like that, and the war and all that, and the battle, action, all that. Anyways, yeah. This is the episode I was talking about earlier. At number 16 is One Bad Day. I really like the end where Billy finds out that Frank was the one to scar his face, and that whole scene, and them going after Billy was also really good. This is a Billy-focused episode. Notice how those ones are high up, because that is the most interesting storyline throughout the whole show. So, yeah, 8.9 out of 10 is really, really good. At number 15 is The Abyss. This is like trying to get Frank out of the hospital. Has the Billy stuff. Like I said, interesting. Karen appears, and Karen is the goat. So Karen is here. Madani is good. Mahoney. I honestly really like how Mahoney is sort of a secondary main villain, or not a main villain, but an antagonist. He's not a villain, but he is an antagonist against Frank, and he's a good one. So I'll give it a 9 out of 10. At number 14 is 3 a.m., the pilot, or premiere. It's a really great premiere. I mean, especially the end fight scene with that. I do feel like it's a bit disjointed from the rest of the series, since it is kind of just entirely separate of Frank's life as Pete Castiglione. We also meet Madani and the characters like Sam, people like that. It's all really good, all great. I love it. It's a 9 out of 10. At number 13 is Crosshairs. It is like, from here on, there's like from Crosshairs to the finale, there's like a 6-episode streak of it just being really fantastic. This is one of them. Them going after Rollins, and especially at the end where he shoots him, or he tries to shoot him in the head, but there's the bulletproof glass, and he's getting chased after. It's all amazing. They're all great. So I'll give it a 9.2 out of 10. Next is Gunner. Same rating, 9.2 out of 10. Him going after his old war buddy Gunner. Actually, this gives us 4 flashbacks, I believe. Anyways, it's all great. And the fighting, the action, this show carries with action. Like, is it as good as Daredevil action? Probably not. I mean, Daredevil action was, I believe, revolutionary in action or superhero action, especially with the one-shot fight scenes. So, yeah. Anyways, a really great episode. 9.2 out of 10. Cold Steel. This is one of that chain of episodes. It's fantastic. Rollins and Billy are great. Billy, I think, is revealed as a villain, or he is a villain in this episode, and that's great. This is one of the streaks of season 1 where it just has fantastic episode after fantastic episode. I absolutely love it. 9.3 out of 10. At number 10 is The Hearts of Dead Men. Or Dead Men. Men, I forget the title. Anyways, it's really fantastic. I sort of was just thinking it's a pretty great episode, maybe even above average for season 2, which is great. But wow, it blew me away with the finale of how Krista and Madani's seemingly unrelated conversation led up to the climax of this. I thought it was great, especially with her, the tricks of how just you need to make it so that Frank thinks that he is get rid of the illusion that Frank is better than you. And I do kind of like how in The Abyss it's revealed that Frank didn't do it. But I also did really love the twist at the end here. So I'm going to give it a 9.4 out of 10. An equally as good episode is the penultimate episode of the entire series, Collision Course. It's really great. There's some cool stuff with John. There's good Billy Russo stuff. Obviously, the end where Madani just pushes Krista out the window is kind of crazy, mimicking the backstory we learned about her. It's all fantastic. Like, it's such a good penultimate episode. It built up to the finale so well. I actually really, really like it. I'll give it 9.6. No, 9.4 out of 10. That's what my list says. Sorry. At number 8 is Trouble the Waters. Or Trouble the Water. It's a really fun episode. Even though it's kind of disjointed to the rest of the season, it's really good. The climax of him being in jail and the whole stuff with Amy is great. Obviously, the end of the police station getting shot up and Frank just killing all of them. And then Madani coming over and being like, we're going to New York. It's all fantastic. Love it. 9.6 out of 10. Equally as good episode is Roadhouse Blues, the premiere for Season 1. I think it is better than the premiere for Season 2. I don't think Season 2 is better than Season 1, but I do think it started off stronger. His relationship with that girl, or with that woman, is pretty great. This does feel disconnected. Like, the first 3 episodes feel pretty disconnected from the rest of Season 2. But it still is great. I love this episode so much. And the bar fight scene and the climax and the end is all really, 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 really good. So, a 9.6 it will get. It's fantastic. At number 6 is Front Towards Enemies. The army guy, Wilson, came back into the story, and it's fantastic. This and the next episode, which I'll get to way later. It's amazing. Are great. Karen's in this episode. The story with Karen in this episode is great. Frank going after Wilson over Karen, which I do like how he shows Karen's relationship. David is great. I also forgot to mention Sarah. I think she appears in this episode. She is great throughout Season 1 of The Punisher. Overall, just a fantastic episode. 9.7 out of 10. And number 5 is Whirlwind. I love this episode. I thought it was a almost perfect series finale. They actually gave character to John. Amy and her relationship with the Punisher is really well shown. Madani is at a peak here. Like, I love Madani in this episode. And then Billy and Curtis, everything that the season was building up to came to a climax in the best episode of that season and one of the best of the show. Number 4 is Memento Mori. Also, both of them get a 9.8 out of 10, this episode and the previous. I think the finales are about equal in quality, but I think this is slightly better. Madai getting shot in the head was crazy. Billy getting his face scarred was crazy. The setup for their season, all of it was fantastic. And it came off one of the best episodes in the show, which I'll get to in a second. At number 3 is Danger Close. This is a basically almost perfect episode. I just have I don't even know. I'm going to give it a 9.9 out of 10. Obviously, the fight scenes at the end, and Punisher getting his thing was absolutely perfect. And honestly, I love this episode so much. It gets a 9.9 out of 10. If you say 10 out of 10, I would probably agree. Number 2 is Virtue of the Vicious. I love nonlinear storytelling. Like, the other 2 episodes of Death's Hand in Mine and The Last Lullaby from Centaur World and from Agatha All Along was previous are perfect episodes, and this follows suit. I love the sort of nonlinear storytelling, and I love everything that happens in this episode. It's so perfect. This is also why I love Billy as an antagonist, because not only does he have a really great connection to our protagonist, but also our deuteragonist of Madani. And Madani is an amazing character, so all of it works. And it's a 10 out of 10 episode. But one episode that's better is Home. Everything in this episode is perfect. David reuniting with his family, Frank being tortured and killing Rollins, everything with Billy, the Department of Homeland Security. Everything in this episode is just perfection, and I love it. Overall, I think The Punisher is pretty fantastic, and it has a great list of episodes. I mean, almost every episode on this list is great. Most of them are just fantastic. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed my list. Bye.